Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing on today? I am super duper excited because it is a new release exclusive with award winning author Toni Shiloh, guys. It's the third book in a Love in the Spotlight series, The Nature of Love. Toni, you know we got to talk about this cover. We got to talk about the title. There is so much that we have to talk about this amazing series. And I'm sure with writing it, but like, when you do the cover reveal, all that good stuff. I mean, I was overjoyed. I was super duper excited. I was like, oh my goodness, this is Chris's story that we get to talk about as well. I love their occupations, all of that good stuff. So, guys, if you're just joining us, let me just tell you, go ahead, grab a warm beverage, whatever your beverage of choice is. Pull up a seat, tell a friend to come on down to the cafe because we are hanging out with author Toni Shiloh on today, guys, and her new release, hot off the press, The Nature of Love. Toni, oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Welcome back to the cafe, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back. I appreciate it.
You are so welcome. And for those who may not know you or you may be a new author to them, please introduce yourself to the people.
Of course. So I'm Toni Shiloh. I write Christian contemporary romances. So you'll always get some faith the characters will struggle with, any questions they might have. Plus, you get all the feels in the romance department, and you will always get a happily ever after.
I love that. Okay, now, Toni, you know we love a book with all the feels, and yes, ma'am, you give us all the feels. I love that. I love the faith elements in your books, all of that good stuff as well. We have Myra hanging out with us on today. Hey, Myra. We have Waletta Dunn hanging out with us on today, guys. We're getting ready to have a great time hanging out with Toni Shiloh on today. Now, Toni, the first thing that I want to talk about is this gorgeous cover. Okay, so for those who don't know, this is the a Love in the Spotlight. This is the book 3. And first, Toni gave us the love script. Love these. Okay, Toni, is it something with it? Well, no, because this one got 4. I was about to say, is there something with those 3? Let me see, one,
Right.
two, three, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So we got a few words. But anyway, the first one is the love script. A Run at Love, and then you have The Nature of Love. But before we talk about the title, Toni, what was that like for you when you saw this cover? I mean, the orange and the green is orange and green. And I don't know if you noticed, but I did a post a couple of days ago, and I was like, the book color of the day is orange. And trust me, this was one of the books that was in there as well. But tell us about this cover, my friend.
So when I first saw it, I absolutely loved it. Sometimes you think that the vision in your head won't translate when you try to ask them, like, this is what I want. And they knocked it out of the park. Like, I wanted the Garden of the Gods in the background of the cover. It's obvious that the heroine's a doctor, and then you've got the dog, like all the elements in the book that you see over and over, like, is represented in this cover. And I adore it. I love it.
I love it. And Toni, okay, now you know the attention is in the detail. Did you notice that stethoscope is on his heart?
Yeah. Yeah. So adorable, right?
Right. I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness. Guys, if you are just joining us, hanging out with the one and only Toni Shiloh, her latest release, The Nature of Love. Toni, check out what Myra has to say. She was like, first off, good evening. Second, I've so enjoyed this audiobook series. I love it. I'm so here for a good audiobook as well. So I wanted to make sure that you saw that, Toni. We have author Sharon Blunt hanging out with us. Robin Pendleton hanging out with us on today as well. Guys, when you come in, definitely tell us hello. We're hanging out with Toni Shiloh. If you have a question or two for her, definitely put it in the comment section as well. We'll be sure to try to include you on tonight with one of your questions that you may have. Now, Toni, The Nature of Love. Spill some tea, my friend. Was this the original working title? Did this title kind of come along? And guys, once you read the book, the title so makes sense. Okay, it so makes sense. But tell us about that title.
I am not this clever. No, so my working title, I won't even tell you what it is. It was so terrible.
Okay.
But what happens is by the time we got to book 3 and we were ready to name it, I had to submit some title options. And I do believe The Nature of Love was one I submitted. Um, and it's because, like you said, like it fits the book. Like Chris is all about nature. There are a lot of scenes involving them being outside in nature, and then just the play on words, like how book one and book two all have love in it. So they
Yes.
all tie together, and I'm so happy with the title.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Guys, if you're just joining us, hanging out with Toni Shiloh, her new one, The Nature of Love. And again, just like we were saying with the title, if you've noticed that, all of the books, like Toni said, they have love in there somewhere. So that's super cool for that too. But Toni, those who may be new to a Love in the Spotlight novels or what have you, can you share with us a little bit about what inspired these books?
Oh, I would be happy to. So I had these ideas, and it's funny, they all came at different times. So A Run It Love is book two, but I actually had that idea a while back. And so when it came time to submit more ideas to my publisher um, through my agent, I was like, oh, this could be one. So A Run It Love is basically about it's about the Kentucky Derby and Friends to More. And book one is, your fake dating celebrity romance. And so I brainstormed that one and came up with that idea. And then The Nature of Love, I was thinking I really wanted to explore couples in their 40s. Um, and so I had the heroine be a doctor, and then the hero is a wildlife conservationist. And I was happy that my publisher loved the idea, but they wanted me to make it into a series, and in my mind they were all on their own. I thought they were going to stand all on their own, so I had to brainstorm how I could connect them. And so that's when I came up with the idea that the heroes were all friends and had met through Lamont Booker, who's the hero in book one, the
Yes.
actor. And that's also why you get text threads throughout each book, is to keep them connected.
I love it. I love it. And Toni, okay. Speaking of the text thread, guys, let me just tell you, you know how like when if you're on a Zoom, like a Zoom event or a podcast, and you're able to make comments, and you hear that it goes down in the comment section. Let me just tell you, it goes down in the text thread in all three of these books. Toni, please share with us, what is that like for you? Because I'm sure you have a lot of fun with the text thread.
I have so much fun with the text thread. In fact, when I was writing the books, the love script, book one, there was a moment where they're like, you might need to remove some of these text threads because I had so many. Because
Uh-huh.
to me, the guys are so hilarious and they just kind of feed off each other. And
Yes.
before you know it, what might have been a high, all of a sudden spirals where they're, ganging up on one person and cracking jokes. So I love the text threads. They're like one of my favorite parts of the books.
I love that. I love that. And this is a great question that we have. Myra wanted to know, did you know like what order the books will go in? And guys, just in case, the first book was The Love Script, and then you have A Run It Love, and then the current book is The Nature of Love. And so one of the readers wanted to know, did you know going in, what will be the order?
I did. Yes, they left that up to me. So I thought about it, and it just made sense since everyone met because of the actor in book one to have him start off. And then I definitely wanted Chris to be last because he's older. And I don't know, there was something that I thought would be, I don't want to say funny, but I thought it would make the inks a little bit better if he went last.
I love that. And Toni, I love how with these particular characters, I mean, they are more mature characters. I mean, they are 40-ish. So I love that. The whole nostalgia. I mean, there's a thing in there about, playing like Operation. And there's little things like they will hint at like their music. And I mean, just all these things. Toni, it totally worked. I love that. What was that like for you in bringing both of their characters to life and highlighting that age for both of them? tell us a little bit about that. And was that fun for you? Because I enjoyed reading it and I can so relate.
Yeah, well, it was fun for me because I could so relate as well. I'm in the 40-ish group as well. So like, ooh, think about like the things of your childhood, the music
Right.
you listen to. I was like, I can throw this in there and that in
Yeah.
there. And I'm like, oh, I might have to do this again because being able to talk about that, like you said, it brings a nostalgia factor. Um, and which is great because it's like the all moments, but also the laugh out loud moments because you're like,
Yes.
how did we ever do that? Or why did we ever do that? Who thought it was a good
Right.
idea to put a bucket in a knee and then try and pull it out?
Oh my goodness. And guys, if you're just joining us, we're hanging out with Toni Shiloh on today, guys. Her new one, it is hot off the press. It is available in ebook print as well as audio. And it is called The Nature of Love. And Toni, they are having a great time in the comment section. We have another question that I think is a great question as well. Because you have some readers that they feel like they need to read them in order, or if they've just coming upon it and they just so happen to read The Nature of Love first. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Of course. So, even though they're all connected, you can definitely read them in whatever order you want. They each stand on their own, but I personally, just my preference, I like to read in order. And so it's great because you get to meet all of the characters in book one, and then there's some cameo spots in book two and three. And then at the end of book three is kind of like a nice wrap up of all the stories.
And Toni, and I'm sure some of the others too who have read the other books, I love the cameos. I definitely love the cameos as well, guys. You are in for a treat. We'll definitely throughout the night we'll tell you the order, just in case if you hadn't read or if you hadn't started and you want to start in order as well. The Love Script is the first one, and then you have A Run at Love, and then you have The Nature of Love, which is the book that we are talking about on today as well. So Toni, let's talk about these characters a little bit. Okay, so you have Dr. Erica Kennedy, who is a surgeon, guys, and then you also have Christian, where she said that Toni was saying that she knew that his character would be last because he is the oldest of the friends. Okay, right,
Yeah.
Toni? He is the okay. I want to make
Yeah,
sure
he is.
that he is the oldest of the friends. But what can you tell us about Dr. Erica Kennedy? How would you describe her character to us?
Oh, that's a great question. She's definitely an introvert, but she's highly driven, type A. And some of that's born out of like necessity. Like if you read the book, you'll find out about her childhood and why she is the way she is. But her whole life's been devoted to becoming a doctor and then becoming a surgeon and then being the best in her field. So she doesn't really have a good work life balance, which is one of the fun things she gets to learn throughout this book. And then Christian, he's a wildlife conservationist, but he's also a YouTuber. So he has a fun job of hanging out with animals. He calls himself an animal wrangler. And so there's some animal cameos in here. And yeah, there's just a lot of fun between these two.
I love it. And Toni, let me just tell you, how did you ever come up with these occupations? I mean, think about the Love Script. You think about A Run at Love. We had the Kentucky Derby. Think about The Nature of Love. I mean, you got a surgeon. You got this wildlife conservationer in this particular one. How did you come up with these occupations? And some of them was kind of like opposite. It was just like, well, of course we had like the Friends to Lovers with A Run at Love, which I absolutely loved as well. But tell us a little bit about that and you coming up with these occupations. What was that like for you?
It's always the fun part, right? Because what we do is a lot of our time. It dictates, when we get up, our days off, like even who we hang out with, because a lot of times your coworkers become your friends. So with all of these characters, I wanted them to be different, but I also wanted some of them to be relatable. Obviously, like having an actor isn't a lot of times isn't so relatable, but pairing him with a hairdresser, hairstylist, um, kind of brings the reality in, but also gives you that like Cinderella vibe of fairy tale romance between someone who's a hairstylist and someone who's a famous actor. And then I've always been fascinated with horses. And so I just kind of wanted to play around with like what makes a person love horses? How would they fall in love with horses? And so in a Run It Love, I made one a horse owner and one a horse trainer. So they
Mhm.
pair well, which works because they're also friends. So you get the friends some more and the complementary jobs to provide more angst in their story. And then with Erica and Chris, they're complete opposites, and it's really fun to like. What's the most opposite you can get? Someone who's inside a hospital all day to someone
Yeah.
who wants to be outdoors.
And Tony, look, and you could probably we definitely have to talk about, yeah, let me just tell you, the banter between these two is just like hilarious. And even when they text each other, or either if they say something to each other, it's like the conversation going on behind the scene in their minds, like
Yeah.
their thoughts, how they're over analyzing like the things that they say to each other. Tony, I absolutely love that as well. It was almost like you would have conversations within conversations, because like they would say something, and then their thoughts in their mind, like, oh my goodness, did I just say that? Like, why did I say that? Or is he gonna take that, or is she gonna take that a certain way? What was that like for you, having those conversations within conversations?
I loved it. Banter is so fun for me as a reader to read. So anytime I can incorporate it into my own stories, I'm, sitting behind my computer typing away and I'm laughing by myself because, no one else was around. But I'm like, oh, I hope everyone loves this as much as I do because that sounds so witty. And it never feels like it's me that's, directing the conversation. It's totally the characters who are that funny.
I love that. I love that, guys. If you're joining us, hanging out with Toni Shiloh, guys, we're super duper excited for her new release, The Nature of Love. And of course, guys, hold on tight. Toni will be sharing with us in just a bit, just a short snippet of The Nature of Love as well. We will also be sharing with you how you can get your hands on a copy of The Nature of Love, as well as the other two books that accompany this. And it is the Love in the Spotlight series as well. And of course, guys, we'll also be sharing with you how you can stay connected with author Toni Shiloh as well. Now, Toni, one of the things that I want to ask you, when you think about the characters of the Nature of Love, and guys, also before I ask her this question, we got to talk about Charlie. Charlie is a cute little dog, guys. Please tell us about Charlie. And what was that like? Because Charlie was a little cute little character itself, and Charlie was purposeful, okay?
I love dogs. So being able to put one into a book, I was like, oh, Chris is the perfect person to have a dog. Like he needs a dog. But I gave the dog to Erica first, which there's a reason. You'll find out when you read the book. Even how she discovers the dog has me laughing because I was like, yeah, this is not a good idea to go up to a strange animal, but she does it anyways. And he turns out to be, the humor they need, the comfort they need. Like Charlie is just like an absolute joy, in my opinion.
Yes. I love that. And of course, I know in A Run at Love, there was like horses and there was animals in that. But I mean, in this one, there's lots of animals, or what have you. And of course, we have this famous ferret
Yes.
that is a part of the story as well. What was that like for you? And did you have to do kind of like research, one on some of these animals or what have you, like their behaviors and the things that they would do? In addition to, did you also have to do research on the occupation of Chris and Dr. Kennedy as well?
Yes, I definitely had to do research. I know nothing about either occupation, so the first thing I did is try and find out as much information as I could that made sense to me. Also, to that made sense for some of the scenes I wrote. And for the animals, I actually like had a whole like catalog of Colorado animals. Like it even had like their endangerment status. Um, and I just kind of went through the list of going like what would be interesting to see, like what kind of animal cameos would you expect him to run into. And so I would pick and choose from that list to talk about. And there's a scene in there. I don't want to give it away, but they come across a bat, and that one just had me laughing because I can totally picture like the ultimate panic of seeing a bat where you don't want to see them.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And guys, hold on tight. She's coming in just a moment with a short snippet. And Toni, I want to ask you, when you think of all the characters, look, the animals included, is there a character that was, exciting, borderline, fun for you to write? And then at the same time, was there a character that was a little more complex in the story when you was fleshing it out?
That's a great question. So I love almost every character in this story, which doesn't always happen because some are more difficult to write than others. But I really love Cheyenne, who's Erica's niece. Um,
Yes.
Writing her scenes had me laughing, and just she was just made me think of my own kids when they were around that age, and just the absolute joy to write her scenes. And then as far as the one who was more complex, honestly, I felt like Chris was more complex because I had an idea of like who Chris was in my head. But when I
Yeah.
sat down to write him, I was like, okay, you're giving me more than I knew
Oh,
about you. Like I thought I knew everything. He was in book one, he was in book two, but all of a sudden I'm getting all these extra details, and I was like, okay, you're a lot more complex than I thought.
yeah. Yeah. And Toni, he, because, and guys, once you read the book, it starts off, she'll tell you kind of like what happened to him or what have you. Um, but for him, oh my goodness, there are moments where he just, I mean, of course, Dr. Kennedy pull at your heartstrings too, but there are moments where he pulls at your heartstring as well. And one of the things that I also enjoyed about Chris is his faith. There's a scene in there where she had a really busy week, because so he had to kind of keep Charlie, for a couple of days or whatever, while, because she had like some emergencies at work. And so like when he brings the Charlie back, and I won't tell you guys all of the tea, but when he brings Charlie back, he's kind of asking her, like, hey, I know your week was busy or what have you. And he was like, well, we'll pray, for your patient. And she was like, wait, what? You
Yes.
don't even know my patient, whatever. And he was like, well, I can do it later. We can do it right now, and she's like, right now, like, okay, but tell us a little bit about that and his faith and things of that nature too. I really enjoyed you showing that side of him.
Honestly, I think that's what made me love Chris so much. Like, I love all the heroes in this series, but the way Chris showed his faith, and he wasn't afraid to answer any hard questions she had. Like, he was totally like, this is who I am. This is what I believe. And it doesn't matter if you don't believe it right now or understand it. Like, I can go at your pace. And I love that about him. I feel like he showed, he was a true friend when she needed one.
Yeah.
And I think that like helped her want to learn more about his faith,
Yeah.
was his kindness.
Yeah, because remember at first she was like, when she was kind of, she was seeing little things of knowing that he was a man, a man of faith, or what have you. She was like, maybe we could only be friends. Like, I don't know if this is gonna work between,
Right.
or what have you too. So again, just for you expressing that throughout your writing in their story, and for it to be a part of their story and to see how they both process it. As well. Thank you for doing that in your story. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're hanging out with author Toni Shiloh, The Nature of Love, and the moment that you guys have been waiting for. She's going to share just a short snippet, enough to wet your whistle as well. So, Toni, I'm going to let you set the scene, my friend, and share with us The Nature of Love, and we are ready when you are.
Awesome. So the scene I chose is their, what I like to call their meet twice. If you've heard of a meet cute, it's the first meeting between them.
I
But this is the second time they meet. And so they've already noticed each other. And so they're in conversation. So this is Chris speaking. So first we met at the Skirted Heifer and now the governor's mansion. He stared into my eyes. What are the odds? Wild, right? I forced a laugh even though my emotions were stuck in my throat. Because seriously, what were the odds? I'd never seen Christian gamble before in my life. And in a matter of a week, I'd run into him twice and in the most random places. Chris asked, "How did you enjoy your burger?" It was perfection, I smiled. Burgers were neck and neck with mountain pie. No one could beat Colorado style pizza. How often do you go there? I arched a brow. Were you looking for me? Maybe. Chris glanced away, taking a sip of his club soda. A thrill shot through my middle. My curiosity piqued. How many times have you gone back? I plead the fifth. His lips curved. Oh my word. Were we flirty? It felt like flirting, but I was solely judging this moment on the movies I'd watched. I almost felt like Sanaa Lathan in Something New. Though Chris wasn't a white guy like the hero in the movie, something told me we were still opposites in every other way. So that's a
God,
small snippet.
you gave us just a snippet. Let me just tell you, see what Tony didn't tell you, it's a double meet cute, okay? Because they had just met like on a fluke or what have you. It was kind of awkward. You know, they both ordered their burgers, and the funny thing about it is they ordered like the same thing. Like they had like
Right.
the same taste in burgers. And lo and behold, they have this meeting that they both have been, not meeting, was like this fancy, event. You get to get dressed up at the governor's mansion, and they both was invited. They walk in because they both, it not to say that they were socially awkward, but they both was like, do we really have to be here? Let me just get this over with. And then they run into each other again. And the funny part, Tony, I was thinking, I said they're gonna probably be sitting together.
Right?
And they were sitting at the same table. So, guys, it's a double meet cute. You would enjoy both of them when they first initially meet, and then when they meet again. Oh my goodness, Tony, I absolutely love that as well. And one thing, Tony, is I'll put this out there. It's like I'll half spill the tea. Like they'll
Okay.
have to read it to get the full thing, if that makes sense. I loved how he got her phone number. We'll just leave it at that. So, guys, if you want to know how Chris got her phone number, you have to read it out. That's some tea that you're going to have to read, but it's genius. Okay.
I love that part too.
Like in writing that part, that was just so clever.
Yeah, I was like, oh, way to go, Chris. I didn't see that coming. That was a
Yes,
smooth move.
me too. Like if it was keeping score, I was like, check for Chris. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it, guys. If you're just joining us, as you can see, we're having an amazing time hanging out with Toni Shiloh, guys. This is her new one, The Nature of Love. And of course, Toni, we have to play a round of this or that, my friend. It's the new year, so we'll do a little bit of new things for the new year as well. So, Toni, first up, would it be glass half full or glass half empty?
Glass half full.
Okay, I love it. All right, Toni, it's been a little cold in my neck of the woods. We've had a little bit of snow. For you, is it hot tea or hot coffee to stay warm? Hot tea or hot coffee?
Hot tea.
I love it. I love it as well. And of course, Toni, we're gonna do a little bit of a trope in there. Let's see, we'll do friends to lovers or enemies to lovers.
Enemies to lovers.
Okay, I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for playing a quick round of this or that with us on today. And guys, of course, there is a giveaway that author Toni Shiloh is going to be doing on tonight. I'm going to let her share what that giveaway is going to be.
Yep. So I'm happy to give away a paperback copy that comes with a couple bookmark to one lucky winner.
I love it. Okay, guys. This is the cover of The Nature of Love. It is, of course, available in ebook, audio, and print. On tonight, Toni Shiloh is giving away an autograph copy, and there is a bookmark of the couple as well. Of course, if you have made a comment throughout tonight, you are in the running for this lovely giveaway. And Toni, I am ready when you are, my friend.
All right, go. Stop.
Okay.
Awesome.
Natasha Crawford, you are the winner, my friend. If you will inbox me your information, we will make sure we get this over to Toni Shiloh, and you will get an autograph copy of The Nature of Love. Congratulations, and thank you so much for joining us on today. Now, Toni, oh my goodness, my friend, the time goes by so fast. I have totally enjoyed reading The Nature of Love, and I know that they are on the edge of their seats, wanting to know how they can get their hands on a copy. I want to let you guys know that one of our sponsor indie bookstores, our Riches in Reading, she does have copies of The Nature of Love. So I will be making sure that I put the link in the comment section. But other than the Riches in Reading, I'm going to allow Toni Shiloh to share with us where else can they get their hands on a copy of The Nature of Love.
So you can definitely get it from your favorite retailers. So think Amazon, Barnes and Noble. I think Walmart as well. Just your favorite ones. So you can find all the links for them on my website. It's tonishiloh.com. And you can just find the picture of The Nature of Love and it'll take you to the links.
There you have it, guys. So whatever suits your fancy, ebook, audiobook, or print, you can go to Toni Shiloh's website and you can find all the links of the different locations of where you can get a copy of The Nature of Love. And of course, you can also get it from the indie bookstore Riches in Reading. I love that. I love that. And Toni, of course, my friend, how can we stay connected with you?
You can stay connected with me through social media. All my social media links are on my website, tonishiloh.com. I'm most active on Facebook and Instagram. And you can also sign up for my newsletter that I send out once a month. And you get a free novella the first time you sign up.
I love that, guys. You heard it. You can stay connected with author Toni Shiloh. And of course, guys, definitely go to her website, sign up for her newsletter. And Toni, she hangs out on Facebook. She hangs out on Instagram, all that good stuff as well. So you can follow her there. And one of the things that I enjoy about Toni Shiloh, guys, she has this thing that she does on Wednesdays. Toni, can you share with the people? Because, guys, y'all know sharing is caring. And Toni Shiloh is definitely a sharer. And I have been introduced to new authors all because of what Toni Shiloh does on Wednesdays. Tell us about that.
So on Wednesdays, I either share a book recommendation of a book I've loved recently, or you can find a Wednesday excerpt. So basically, it's the authors reading just a small snippet from their books. And I usually have the link to their book up on my bio links and Instagram. And it's a great way to not only get to know a new author, but hear the snippet and see if it is something that you would love to read.
I love that. I love that. Okay, and Toni, I got to toot your horn one more time. On Thursdays, guys, if you follow Toni Shiloh, she does this or that. Okay, I love it. And she has all sorts of topics. Sometimes it could be book related to one of her latest release. Sometimes it could be, just something that may be going on, but it is this and that time. And you can find that if you follow her on social media. I want to say she posts on her Facebook, within her Facebook group, as well as on Instagram as well. So as you can see, follow author Toni Shiloh. There is lots of goodness going on her page as well. And definitely go to her website. The Nature of Love, as well as the other two books in this particular series, they are published through Bethany House. I think someone asked in the comment section, are you self-published? But Toni Shiloh, she is published through Bethany House, and she also has Love Inspired through Harlequin. Is that correct, Toni? Did I miss anything as well?
Yeah, no, I'm also indie published as well. So I do.
And she's also indie published as well. So she's a hybrid author. So of course, if you go to her website, you can find all of her different books, whether it's a self-published book, whether whether it's through Harlequin or Bethany House as well. And there is a backlist, so you can definitely go through her backlist, and you can, matter of fact, Toni, look, I'm excited. She has one of her books, limited time, guys. It is the ebook is on sale for $1.99. Did that end already, Toni, or am I speaking too fast?
No, no, you're right. It ends tomorrow, so tomorrow's the last day. Rather that you can get it for $1.99.
Yes, and even if you can't, guys, it's a really super cute, really good book. Still order it, get you a copy of it as well. Any of the books that you read by Toni Shiloh, guys, make sure that you leave a review. And I definitely want to leave with you. I want to show you this cover one more time. Toni, feel free to hold yours up too. It is The Nature of Love. It's the last book that she just released, hot off the press, available in ebook, audio, and print. Get you a copy. And of course, Toni, you share with us how we can stay connected with you. You share with us how we can get a copy of The Nature of Love. I want to allow you, my friend, to have the last words of what you want to say to the people.
I just want to thank you guys for spending the past half hour with me, listening to me talk about my book. Just the genuine support you guys always give me. I really appreciate it.
I love that. Toni, thank you so much for coming back and hanging out with us at the cafe. Trust me, you are one of those authors that you're always welcome back here at the cafe, and I appreciate you sharing your wonderful books with us as well, guys. Like we said, we'll be sure to put those links in the comment section so you can get your copy. If you haven't read it already, and once you read it, definitely leave a review. I know that Toni Shiloh will be so appreciative of you guys reading a review. And not only that, guys, tell a friend to read The Nature of Love, as well as the other books that is in that series as well. Again, I'm Angela Anderson. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Angela Anderson YouTube. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. Do a little TikTok as well, Angela Anderson Presents. And as we always say, guys, have an amazing day, because we're having an amazing day. And until next time, we'll see you guys later. Get you a copy of The Nature of Love. See you later.